Hello, everybody, and welcome to the character creation for Table Stories, Witchcraft, and Wizardry. Hello.
Your face. There's like little things that
Hello,
I know
everybody.
I want. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome,
So
everybody.
we're excitedly talking about ideas for a character. Cosplay and sorry.
Everybody's getting all excited. We're all hyped. Welcome to the special Patreon episode 0 here for Witchcraft and Wizardry. How is everybody doing? Are you all excited after our audio struggles?
Oh, yeah.
Stoked.
Super excited.
Super excited.
I have rewatched all the Harry Potters in the last 3 days, and I've called it research.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
it is.
It's research.
Accurate.
Legit.
Smart.
Very nice. So
Any
what
excuse.
I'd love to do is to kind of take a little time to go around the room and have everybody introduce themselves and where people can find your streams and stuff, and we'll hop into things. Colo, would you be so kind as to start us off, please?
Hi, I'm Colo. You can find me primarily on Twitch, and it's Colo, all one word. And also YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and all of the things. And I stream all kinds of nonsense. Really like potatoes. I've got a giant mug. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. This is the second time that I've ever done any tabletop or role playing or anything like that, so I got a lot to learn, but I learned a lot from Zero Blue Orion, which I did with Wack as well, which was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I've always claimed to be a Gryffindor, but I have no idea where I'm going to get sorted, so I'm kind of a little bit nervous about that, but I'm excited to see where we end up, for sure.
Thank you so much, Colo. Luxie, hello. Welcome to
Hello.
Table Story.
Thank you. Tablestory is going to be my first tabletop ever. I've only ever done D&D and as the GM, so I've never gotten to role play anything. I'm
So
super
you've
excited.
never been a player? You hopped right into the GM?
Yeah, well, everybody I wanted to play with was new too, and nobody wanted to do it, so I was like, I'll do it, fine. So yeah, I did it. I got all my cousins and my brother, because we all live in the same city, and gathered them and was like, you will play this with me. And they did. But my handles are Luxie Game across all things, Luxie Games with an S. I'm mostly on Twitch, but also a lot of the time on Twitter. I'm loud, I'm annoying, and I'm gay is how I describe myself. So super excited. I love Harry Potter. I've loved Harry Potter since I was just a child. So I've been to many Harry Potter conventions, and I can't wait. I'm excited to see what happens.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Murgles?
Oh no!
Oh no, I'm on the
very
show
little to say.
too.
Oh no! Oh god. Hi, I'm Murgles. You know me from such things as being Murgles, sometimes on Tablestory. That's it. I sometimes stream very infrequently. I'm a professional animator and storyboard artist by trade, so I spend most of my time doing that. You can find me on Twitter and here. And I have an Instagram, a full-on art Instagram, but you can find it through my Twitter. It's got my full name and stuff, so I'm still on the fence about sharing that everywhere.
Fair.
Yeah, it's weird. And I love Harry Potter so much, so I'm very, very thrilled to be a part of this, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Nega Oryx?
Hello! Hi, I'm Nega Oryx. You might recognize me from having just wrapped Simulacrum here on Tablestory with Wack as the lovely, wonderful administrator for that as well. I still have not emotionally recovered from it, so I'm sure you haven't either if you watched it. I'm a full-time streamer, but I'm also a host and a voice actor as well, so you can find me doing a bunch of stuff all around the internet, including a D&D game where I'm a pirate void tiefling rogue on Tuesday nights. Tuesday's my new tabletop day. It's pretty exciting. So follow along I have the same username on absolutely everything: Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that. Just Negaoryx, Negaoryx, and come say hi.
Thank you so much. Zygodicus?
Hey everybody, I'm Zygodicus. Everywhere on the internet you can find me, Zygodicus, because no one else has this name. Who else would? Yeah. You guys, I've been role-playing on Tablestory for a bit now, and with Whack long before that, so I have like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 hours or so of tabletop role-playing experience, and I'm glad to be able to bring it to Harry Potter and be able to explore this system and Hogwarts. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And Mrs. E is very excited as well. When she heard about it, she's like, "You're doing that?" Okay. I don't know.
No, but you know what time it is, right?
Yeah, I made it very clear to her that it's 9 p.m., okay? And she's like, "I don't care. You're doing it." I was like, "Okay.
Excellent.
That's fine."
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. E. We appreciate you. Yeah, thank you, buddy. And I am Wax Steven. I am the Headmaster of Doom. I will be dragging the players kicking and screaming through the adventures that they have in Hogwarts. And we're gonna be having a really good time. I'm super excited. Like, honestly, it's rare for me to just be super excited about the system and not really feel hampered by it, and the only way that I could make that happen was by creating one myself. But yeah, I went ahead and I made a system for Harry Potter because I really love the universe, and I think it's a wonderful place, and it's so good for like tabletop RPGs. Like, there needed to be something made for it, and I really wanted to do a show on it, so I made a system. And if you want to join us in playing the system and trying it out, because we're all flying by the seat of our pants here on the system. I've done some minimal testing with the system, but honestly, I just need tons of feedback and stuff. There is a strong chance at the start of the show we might see some drastic changes on the system as we progress through the show. Like, I might make some balance changes or whatever based on player feedback. I don't know. We'll see. I'm open to feedback. I like the critiques. I like all that stuff. Ultimately, I just want to make something that's really fun, and I just want everybody to have a good time. So, that being said, today we're going to be doing character creation. We're going to be making characters. We're going to meet some people. And what I'd really love to do for everybody, just to get everybody in the right mindset and the right headspace, is I'd love to go around and sort of talk about the very first time that you either saw a Harry Potter movie or you read a Harry Potter book. What was your first experience with it? I just want to kind of get everybody in the right headspace. And we have some I also want to mention Jay the Way, a viewer for Tablestory, was really a huge fan of Tablestory and has put together something extremely awesome for the Tablestory audience in general. You might notice that if you listen to our shows or watch some of our shows that our audio quality is a bit different. We're switching some of the things that we do normally up with our production and whatnot, and we're changing things hopefully for the better, because we're going to be using a better sort of audio quality for the show. And Jay the Way actually put together a program, a positional audio program, so we can get stereo sound for different sound effects and things, and it really makes playlists and stuff way easier. So I'm going to be messing with some of the sound settings as we go, kind of learning on the fly here, and just kind of getting sound and whatnot all good. But we've got some wonderful sound effects, and I just wanted to give a special shout out to Jay the Way, because he's amazing. He made a program. And it's so cool, and I've been gushing over it. It's so amazing. So thank you so much. And let's get some happy music in the background to sort of get us in the mood here. Let's get everybody in the right headspace. So if anybody wants to get started talking about their first sort of Harry Potter experience, I think that'd be a good way to get going. Anybody want to start? I could go first if you are feeling shy. You want me to start? Okay, I'll start. I'll be the guinea pig. Everybody's scared.
I could go. Sorry, I was muted.
Go for it.
So I remember, but the thing I remember about reading the Harry Potter books is I have 3 siblings, and we all kind of liked the Harry Potter books. My parents got us the first book, and then like one person at a time had to read the book. So the rest of us were always sitting like, you gotta hurry up and read the book. So every time a new book came out, we were waiting for the other siblings to read it. And then I think it was maybe like Order of the Phoenix at that point when that got released. And my parents reversed the order. So rather than the oldest child getting in first, the youngest, and that was my little sister. And she was taking forever reading it. And we were starting to get a bit impatient. And there was like complaints sent to the parent panel and being like, okay, we'd like to lodge a formal complaint here. Your youngest child is taking too long to complete the novel. But yeah, that was... I just got absorbed in it. That was at the stage when I was reading a lot. You know what I mean? I got my start in other things like Terry Pratchett, but then when Harry Potter came along, I was like, oh, this is just... I don't know. I just read through them. It was easy reading. Easy reading. I think there were among the few books that I like read, and maybe some of them I read in one sitting, or like, you know, in a space of 1 or 2 days. They were like that for me when I first read them. But anyway, that's my Harry Potter origin story.
Oh my god, I love it.
It's so cute. I kind of had an opposite experience in my family where so I grew up reading them from when the first one came out, and after that it was like we got them the minute they were released. And my mom actually texted me pictures the other day that I think I'll tweet on the day of the first show next week. We went to all of the midnight releases. We would dress up in costumes. So I would dress up as usually Hermione until Luna was in the books, and then I always dressed up as Luna. And there's a picture of me opening the book at the register, and then I walked out of the store reading it, like with my nose in the book, and I wouldn't stop reading it from the register of Barnes & Noble down the escalator into the car. I read it coming up from the car, like kicking the car door shut with my feet and stuff, walking up the stairs. And in my family, we each got our own copy, and nobody went to bed until they read the book cover to cover. So you'd get it at midnight, and you'd read it until however late the next day, and you would be, by the last book, the longest one, I mean, you're sitting there like rocking back and forth, like crying and dehydrated and sleep deprived. But the worst part was we all read the last book in the same room as each other. My mom, my sister, and I sitting on different couches, and depending on who was the fastest reader, somebody would burst into tears, and the rest of them would go, oh, I don't want to know what page you're on. I don't know when it's going to happen. And you would know what was coming up next in the books based off of how loudly everyone else was sobbing around you. No. It was such an important thing for us. We went to every midnight, like, first screening of the movies. We were just so into it. And it was a big bonding thing for my family.
That's great. That's super
That's
great.
amazing.
I love how there's
so
far there's like 2 family experiences in regards to it right off the bat. That's super interesting to me. Mine is kind of a family experience as well. I saw the first movie before I read the books. I actually went to the movie theater with my uncle to see it. And I remember after watching it, I said, this is like Star Wars for this generation. This is kind of like this generation's Star Wars. It's that big. It's going to have that kind of a legacy for people. And that was just from the movies. Later on, my girlfriend had mentioned, like she was reading the books. And I said, oh, you know, I was like, I like the movies. I was like, how are the books? And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, what do you mean, how are the books? You haven't read them yet? I was like, no. why am I dating you? You know, like it was one of those kinds of situations. She had like told me, she's like, okay, here's what you're gonna do. You know, like there's a Jim Dale version and there's a Stephen Fry version for the audiobooks.
yeah.
You're gonna get the audiobook because they're really good. And I had the instructions for everything. So now at this point in my life, I've seen all of the movies. I've read, I've listened to all the audiobooks. Just kind of my personal preference. I like audiobooks versus reading. It's easier on my eyes. I get like really bad eye strain when I read. And when I read like a ridiculous amount at once. That's just the way that I am. So for me, it started off with a thing where I went with my uncle, one of my girlfriends was really into the series. So I was getting updates from her all the time, and it was always so like intense. And I sort of got those feelings via like osmosis. You know, it was just kind of her excitement kind of like rubbed off onto me, and then I started reading the books, and I started really enjoying them too. So that was my start.
So cute.
Yeah.
I feel like I think I similarly seen like all of the movies growing up, and my dad is a really big reader, and he had read like all of the books, and it was one of those things growing up where my dad was like, you should read these, you would really like them. And I was like, very much so like, my dad thinks they're cool, like I'm not gonna like them, like they're not gonna be my style. And then I just remember very vividly, I was like homeschooled my freshman year of high school, and my sophomore year, all of the people that my little like weird pack of friends had been like, what do you mean you've never read these books? Like you eat lunch in a classroom with a bunch of nerds and you've never read Harry Potter? What's wrong with you? So I started reading them. I like checked the first one out that day, and like I think in like a week had like finished all of them and was like obsessed. Like went through like a horrifically, like I did nothing in my high school years but Harry Potter. We started a Quidditch club. That's how bad it was. I like went to a teacher and was like, we have to play Quidditch, but we did, so that was cool.
I'm very curious as to there's actually like a real Quidditch league.
Yeah.
Like,
we weren't that good.
Did you follow the rules? Like, did you use their
so it was like
setup?
right around the time where like everything was coming out, where like universities started picking up like playing Quidditch and stuff like that. So yeah, we'd have like a person as the snitch, and everybody else played along with it. I think we followed like a pretty standard rule book of whatever other people were playing at the time. I'm sure it was less strenuous because we were a bunch of freaking nerds that didn't run around at the same time. But yeah, and then I started going to like Harry Potter conventions. I live in Florida, and like a lot of the conventions were started to be based around Orlando, because we got the first, I think it opened before California's, we got the first Universal Wizarding World. And it wasn't open. I just remember like going to conventions. I was in French club and I went to a convention and I could see Hogwarts like out the hotel window, and I was just like looking. I have pictures of it on my phone from like an old camera. But I heard about one of the conventions, and you had to be like 18 to go, and I was like 17. My mom did not want to go. I wanted to go so bad. I was really into wizard rock, which is like Harry Potter rock music. And my mom was like, I'll take you, but I'm dropping you off and you have to lie about your age because I don't want to go. So I went. She dropped me off, and I like went to this freaking nerd convention with a bunch of, I literally knew like one person, and I had met her at like a John Green book signing. So it was like super strange, but it was like the best experience. I just like kept going to them. So yeah, but it was like, I think it was nice almost because I was like an adult when I got to like experience them all, and I got to experience, I'm so glad I didn't have to wait because I'm so impatient. I got to experience them all in one fell swoop. That was great.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
So mine is kind of school based, I guess.
You actually
so
went to Hogwarts?
I wish, man. Soon.
I'd believe it.
Almost. We're going. You're taking us to.
I'll cry. Stop saying it. I'll cry.
It's okay. Listen, nobody's going to judge you for getting excited here. We're all excited.
I'm wearing clown makeup right now, too. Like, if I cry, it all goes.
So I had this really awesome teacher when I was in year 4, I think, which for non-UK peeps is like age 7, 8, I think, age 8. And she was awesome. Definitely like the kind of teacher that you can look back and realize that they really shaped who you are. She was awesome. And she picked it up, and that was like really like after it was released. It was really, really quickly after it had released. She picked up the book, and we used to have, after our lunch break, we used to have like carpet time where we were sat on the carpet and she'd read us a book. And that book that she decided to read us at that time was the very first time that Harry Potter appeared, and my mind was so blown by it. That I couldn't wait. We got like a week into doing this, and the reading was like half an hour every day, and we got like a week into this, and I was like, I can't wait. I was like, I don't want to wait over the weekend. I need to know what happened. So I went to the bookshop with my mum, and we found it. And I did a very similar thing to what you guys have said, and I stayed up the entire night and finished it. And then back to school on Monday, and obviously I knew everything that was happened, but it just didn't change my excitement. Like I was so, and I think also because it was from a teacher that I thought was ace and really respected as well, and she was super into it. Like she did all the voices, she was amazing. And that definitely kind of, I re-enjoyed it, if that makes any sense. So it didn't devalue it in any kind of way. And then since then I was never allowed to go to the midnight releases when I was younger, but then once I moved out, it's fine. I was there, like, you know, I was at the door, like waiting for it to open, and did very much the same. I got in trouble quite a lot because my parents would find my light on and I'd be reading in the night. And I remember that.
Too?
I remember that
so much. My mom would be like, "It's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
You have school." I was like, okay, and then I'd get my phone light or like a lamp or something so the bedroom light wasn't on.
Yeah. So is this like before phones or anything, and I didn't have I did have a bedside light, but it was too bright and they would have seen that it was going on. But I did have like this tiny torch. We like went to a zoo or something, and you know they have in the like gift shops, they have those tiny little torches with the like clicky end, right? Mine was bright orange, and I had this tiny torch, and then it ran out of batteries, and I didn't want to ask my parents for another batteries because I was really worried that they'd be really suspicious and tell me off for reading all night. But yeah, I loved it. I was really, really reluctant to go and see the films because I was so scared. Like there's so much love that I was so terrified that the films were gonna not live up to my expectation, and I was super reluctant to go, but I did, and I'm very glad that I did. I very much put off the last bit, well, before Fantastic Beasts, because I didn't want it to end. I was like, if I watch this, that's it, you know, it's gonna be over. So it was very much, and it's been a big part. All of my stream alerts for the first like 9 months of me streaming, they were all Harry Potter alerts. And my community still quite often, they'll share a resub and they'll share the previous alert, which was, I solemnly swear that I am up to no good, mischief managed. So it's been like a huge part of my childhood, and kind of continues to be a really awesome part of my life, which is sound, really. Yeah, a lot of love.
Thank you so much, Colo, for sharing. Murgles.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I was like the most hipster annoying kid for some reason. And my grandma got me a copy of the first book, and I was like, everyone's reading this, so I'm not going to. And I like tossed it into my room, just in a pile. You know how you are when you're a kid. So a year later, when I was cleaning said pile, which had, you know, grown to be much larger, I found it, and I was like so bored with cleaning my room that I was like, well, guess I'll just read this. Trash. Like a dick. And then I literally could not put it down, and I like read it the whole weekend. I remember like my dad came to pick me up for like our weekend together, and I was like, hey Dad, I'm reading a book now. And then I just read it the whole weekend. Like, I did not spend any time with my like divorcee dad. I was just like, bye.
He's got like a journal in the background where he's like, stuff to do with Myrtles.
Yeah, he's like spending time with my
Got, like,
daughter.
little-
The only 2 days I get every other week.
Little bullet
just
journal.
Yeah,
He's
and I
just
was like, "You're not
crossing
Harry Potter
everything
now."
off.
Yeah, he's like, go to the zoo, tell her I love her, and I'm like, go it. I'm reading Harry Potter. So I after that, I like read all of them. My grandma would order them ahead of time so that they would arrive at our door when they came out. So I would like go to my grandma's house and we would all read it together. And I was just so in love and obsessed with it. And then like later on in my life, it's just I feel like as you get older, the more you need it. Like I like to read it every year because it feels like a return to, like, every time I start to lose my footing in my life, like I just pick up my Harry Potter book because, as J.K. Rowling says, like Hogwarts is always there to welcome you home, and it truly does feel like a home that you can bring with you everywhere you go. And this is like a bit tragic, so don't worry, I'm fine. But like when I was 16, our house burned down, and so we like lost everything, which included all of my original Harry Potter books, like all of the original prints that I had, and that was like super heartbreaking for me. And I didn't read them until I was in college, and I met this friend who also loved Harry Potter, so we like really bonded about it. And she just randomly, it was like one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. She went like from thrift store to find used copies of all of the book series again for me, of like the original, not first edition, but like early editions. And I was like, this is the best thing of my life. So I keep that collection with me, and I moved to Germany about a year ago and I brought it with me. And when I was doing long distance with my boyfriend, I read to him from that book series, like over fucking Discord, So for me, it's just, my first tattoo was a Harry Potter tattoo. And to me, it's just always been like a reminder of, no matter where you are in the world, what's going on in your life, who you have become, who you don't want to be, whatever the deal is, I can always go back to like Philosopher's Stone and just read the first page, and instantly I'm like, it's gonna be good. I'm good, So yeah, an invaluable thing.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Murgle's just making me cry 5 seconds of
Also the first to drop an F-bomb. It's fine. It's fine. I thought it was going to be Zagonicus 100%. 100%. But
get ready for some sweary 11-year-olds, because I don't know if I can.
Well, listen, anybody that's watching this or is listening to this, you are on a Tablestory channel. We're going to do our best to keep things wholesome for the show, but we're all older. I'm especially so, and we're I mean, there's gonna probably be some swearing. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. So we'll try and keep it clean as possible, but it's not gonna work.
Technically, it's a school.
I'm the most wholesome person ever. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's technically a school in Scotland, and I've been in those. Trust me.
Yeah.
They start swearing when they're 5 years old.
Like
And
really
it's not even
bad
a joke,
ones.
by the way. Not even a joke.
Depending on your
really
parents.
bad words.
Oh, yeah.
I was in Sunday school once. Sorry, quick side note. I was in Sunday school once. My mom can never hear that I told this story. She used to give us like pogos. Do you know pogos? Pogo? It's like a microwave corn dog. So sometimes she would like give us these microwave corn dogs for dinner. Don't get into it. And she used to call it shit on a stick. So I was like maybe like 5 or 6. I'm on this like bus to fucking Baptist Sunday school because my mom needed a vacation, I guess. I wasn't Baptist. And I was like talking to someone next to me, and Yeah, and I was, they were like, oh, what are you having for dinner? We're having like meatloaf. And I was like, I'm having shit on a stick. And then that kid told on me, and I got in so much trouble.
Wow, get wrecked, nerd.
Yeah. Me? Yeah, I know. I got wrecked.
Okay, so who's ready to make some characters? You all ready to make some characters?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Awesome. So everybody go ahead and open up your rule books. There's the way that this system works was I wanted to come up with a way that seemed really intuitive and it seemed really kind of obvious to connect to Harry Potter. And it just kind of popped into my head that all of the houses and most of Harry Potter is related to the personality of the person. And I know what you're thinking, that's like, oh, well, isn't that true for everything? But I feel like it's emphasized even more in Harry Potter. There's things that are connected to the person's personality, and it affects their magic. It also affects their schools and everything. So I thought, okay, how do I do that? How do I make that thing be as important as it is in the Harry Potter universe in the system? And I just kind of thought, well, how do people role play their characters? How do GMs role play characters? They usually come up with some adjectives or descriptors or traits for people or NPCs, non-player characters, that they use as guidelines to help them role play. And I thought, oh, well, that seems really easy because all of the houses kind of have their own personality traits. That's usually what determines what house you get sorted into. And I was like, oh my God, that's the thing. Like you just kind of use that to link everything together. It just kind of makes sense. So that's the basis for making characters in this. It's also the basis for making NPCs. Any GMs or anything that are watching this. You're creating positive traits and negative traits for your characters, and then you get to kind of sort them into a house. The very first thing that we're going to do for your character creation is we're going to determine your character's family heritage, their name, and a month and day for their birthday. So on page 9 of the rule book, there is a section for different family heritages. Now, what I was doing when I was making some NPCs for this was I was rolling for the family heritage. Now, I think that would be cool to do here, unless people had like a really specific kind of character idea that they wanted to do, Zagoticus.
This is every time with me, by the way, guys. I always have a super specific idea before character creation.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even already have the character made.
You're a little quiet, by the way, Zagonicus, if you could turn yourself up.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. I've half muted myself. Yeah, I do this all the time. Sorry, I can't help myself.
It's okay.
Can I ask you a question about how this sets with the books? Like, do we as characters have the context of the books? Do we know who these people are?
This is set in present day. So this is 21 years from the end of Deathly Hallows, according to the books. Yeah. So, so like at the end of Deathly Hallows, we get a 19-year advancement, which would have been 2 years previous, of the Potter children and the Weasley children at the very end there of Deathly Hallows. So we're 2 years later than that scene, basically. So it's present day. There's cell phones and things like that, that are happening, and you'll be. I mean, that all of that stuff is canon. All of it's canon. So,
Are we going to school with their kids?
You'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
I will say.
Okay.
I will say that I care about your characters the most here. The story is about your characters. So any other cameos that are made are cameos. They are not the focus of this story. You are the focus of this story.
Okay.
Okay.
What if my character is obsessed with Albus Severus Potter? No, I take it back.
You can decide however you'd like to play your character. That's entirely up to you. Colo, I think that so Colo's just sent me a message. I think that it's probably not the best idea.
Okay.
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 It would be difficult to kind of fit that in with the canon.
Okay. All right.
So that being said, if you would like to roll for your family heritage, you can roll a 2d6. And the way that we'll do this is I was playing around with this when I was doing the NPC creation. Pure blood families are a bit more rare than the Muggleborn and Half-Blood families. So what I was thinking would be that Muggleborn, if you wanted to roll, it would be you roll a 1d6 for this. Sorry, you roll a 1d6. If you got a 1 or a 2 on the roll, then you would be a Muggleborn family. That would be your family heritage. If you got a 3, 4, or 5, be a Half-Blood family because they're the most common. And then if you got a 6 on your roll, then you would be a pureblood family heritage. You can also choose if you'd like. If you want to roll, you can roll. And if you're unfamiliar with Roll20, it's just a /R space 1d6 if you'd like to roll. But I'll leave it up to you guys.
I didn't expect that.
Oh, okay. So we've got some rolls coming out. Murgle's getting the Muggle family. Colo getting the pureblood family. Very interesting.
I'm a little bit scared.
And Luxie getting a Muggleborn family. If you are stuck as to learning where your character sheet is, we kind of did some tests and whatnot. But does everybody know where the character sheet is? Did you find your character sheet okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
If you look at your character sheet, we had some custom character sheets, and another shout out here. I just wanted to give some thanks to Etoile Leon and Cugio for working on the custom character sheets. Etoile stayed up like super late this week trying to get. He copied the fonts and everything from the one that I used. He went it's really hard to get the fonts working on Roll20 and get everything right. So he spent a lot of time doing that. But you'll notice on the top, there's a 1 and a 2 and a gear. There's some features that haven't been implemented yet that he's working on. But there is a second page there that has your family heritage. So you can select Muggle family, Muggleborn family, Half-Blood family, and Pureblood family. So you can select one of those, and depending on which one you choose, you have different starting attributes. If you pick the Muggleborn, if you got the Muggleborn family, it means that both of your parents are non-magical, and it was quite a surprise when you could do magic. That was a shock when you were able to perform magic. Your body stat will start at 1. Your mind stat will start at 0. Your heart stat will start at 0. Your soul stat will start at -1. Your magic stat will start at -1. And you can also add 1 to one of those attributes.
Can you just say that again, Whack?
Sure. It's also in the rulebook, if that's easier for you to look at.
Yeah.
It's on page 9.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
So you got a pureblood family. So down at the bottom there of page 9, those are your starting stats.
I got it.
And you'll notice that it says add 1 to an attribute of your choice if you've got a Muggleborn family. The cap on any stat is a +2 or a -2. When all is said and done, when you add up all of your stats, they should equal 0. That's the way to make sure that you've like done your math right. The Half-Blood family gives you a little bit more flexibility with your stats, and it will allow you to start with a body of -1, a mind of 0, a heart of 0, a soul of 0, and a magic of 1. The stats kind of break down like this. Body has to do with your strength, speed, and your health. Heart has to do with your communication, insight, and healing. Magic, pretty self-explanatory. That has to do when you're when you're casting spells. It's your natural ability with magic. Your mind stat is your intellect, your wit, your knowledge. Your soul stat is your performance, your inspiration, your courage. And relationships will be formed as the show goes on. Those are going to be rolled when you interact with the person that you have a relationship with. So you could have a bad relationship with somebody, or maybe you just got into an argument or something along those lines. You might have a negative on your relationship when you make the roll. If you've got a really good relationship with that person, things are going well, you know them well, you kind of know what's going on with their mind, what's going on in their head, so you might get a bonus to the roll. And then lastly, there's the pureblood families. They get a -2 to their body, 0 to mind, a -1 to heart, a 0 to soul, a magic of 2, and 1 getting added to an attribute of their choice. The Half-Blood families get to add 1 to 2 attributes of their choice and a -1 to 2 attributes of their choice. And you can kind of like add 1 and -1 to the same attribute if you want to do that for some reason. When all is said and done, it, like I said, everything's going to come to 0 on the total. You'll also notice that each family heritage has a bonus drawback in starting galleons. If you take the Half-Blood family, you get to choose 1 bonus and 1 drawback from either the Muggle family or the Pureblood family, or the Pureblood family. If you wanted to take a bonus and the drawback from either, you could do that. If you wanted to split them, you could do that. But it's 1 of each. And then when you're done with that, you can roll for your starting galleons. Each of the family heritages have different starting galleons. And these starting galleons are kind of like your spending money. This is in addition to any money that you might have to pay for your books and general school supplies and things like that. If you want to get some really cool stuff in Diagon Alley, you can do that, with your starting galleons. Yeah. Turn off my double noises because I forgot to turn that off.
Is it rolling?
/R.
/R. Yeah.
Thank you.
16.
Okay. So we had, let's see, what did we get for numbers? Lexi got 10 starting galleons. Pretty good. 20 for Colo. She's just swimming in the money. We had a 9.
Pure bloods, am I right?
Yeah.
This is like the total opposite of a character that I have ever been sorted to in my life, so this is interesting already.
We've got 9 for Myrtles, 16 for Zygonicus, and 13 for Negs. Okay, very good. You can take note of that on the first page of your character sheet. There is a section for galleons. And they have like a weird conversion factor for galleons. I've added a few handouts for you to help you whenever you may need them. There's a handout for a money guide because J.K. Rowling decided to make the denominations ridiculously complicated to remember. So
I remember trying to learn them, and I was just like, I remember writing them in the corners of the pages and being like, this makes no sense.
Yeah. It's 29 knuts to 1 sickle, and it's 17 sickles to 1 galleon.
Did you say Knut?
Mm-hmm. It's the way that Hagrid pronounces it.
Just checking.
We do not question Hagrid.
Yeah. The all-knowing Hagrid.
See that? As soon as I read that, I would have said nut as well. But I mean, the jokes just. I feel like if we do Knut, it just works a little bit better and provides
I've
us.
got 2 nuts. Wait, where is this handy dandy money handout you were just speaking?
So you know
of?
where you pulled up your character sheet?
Oh, yeah.
There's a section for handouts right below that. So I've got a section there for healing conditions, as well as a moves section.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of like your quick reference. If you're having trouble finding stuff in the book, the moves section kind of like lays everything out pretty easily, I hope, for you. We use these a lot. I base this game on Powered by the Apocalypse, the Powered by the Apocalypse engine, which is a really popular tabletop system. And we've played a few different games in this with this system, and it was just a really easy way to pull up moves and things you can do on the fly.
Oh, Whack, did you explain about editing this character sheet? Because I've been writing it down manually while I've been looking at other stuff. Can I do it directly on my PC?
You should be good to go. Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's opening in Google Drive instead of somewhere else.
Murgles. Let me just double check. Colo.
Your character sheet then roll 20. Cool.
Yeah, your character
okay,
sheet and roll
right.
20.
Sorry, guys. Apologies. Apologies.
No,
Wednesday
we
Dale
had
on the moon.
Custom character sheets on roll 20. It's all set for you.
Agats. Thanks. Sorry.
No problem. This is what episode 0 is for. This is what episode 0 is for. We're all learning together. It's all good. Okay. Is everybody done with that part?
I am.
Anybody need any help with the family heritage or anything? Okay, cool. So let's move on to the traits. So, I've sort of organized the traits into quote-unquote positive traits and negative traits. Anybody that's I've already got everything worked out, Zagoticus, so I'm gonna have to say a no to that, unfortunately. Everything's
make it work.
Everything's already been made, dude. I can talk with you about it after, if you like.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
If we can maybe change your name to just match
I'm not
that.
set on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still fine. Or there's more. I'll talk to you. Yeah, we'll
Sure.
sort it.
So I've sorted everything to positive and negative traits, and there's gonna for sure be people that like disagree, that are like, this trait has to be this house, and so on and so forth. And hey, you know what? I did the best that I could. The goal here was to get this set up so that you'd be rolling. If you wanted to make a randomized character, you could do so by rolling 2d6 5 times for the positive traits and for the negative traits. And the way that you do this with regular like real dice is I just go by right and left die. I would say the die on the left would be the left number in the column on the table in the rule book, and the right die would be the right side. So if you rolled 2d6, and I'll just roll this right now, I shit you not, I just crit. And anybody that was watching me do the GM prep knows how many times I crit when I was doing the GM prep, and it was disgusting.
Is this the orange die? Are you
No.
using the orange die? I swear they're
This
cursed.
is why you play Powered by the Apocalypse with Whack,
fear in
because
your
then
voice.
only the players roll. You don't have to worry about his crazy rolls.
So the reason that I'm called the GM of Doom is because I have a tendency to roll ridiculously high. Luckily for you in this system, you don't have to worry about that. My rolls don't really matter. I don't have to make any rolls in this system.
The context for the orange die, for those of you who might not know, is that in Zero Blue Orion, there it is. I don't even want to see it.
I think he orange die does in Sector 49 at one point as well.
The death and pain that die caused was unbelievable.
What you
And the
can
fear
see on that die is
instills
all the
in me.
notches of dead players just all over that thing.
It's weighted. That's the only explanation. It's weighted.
So just an FYI, I changed out the dice 4 times when I was doing the GM prep, just to be fair. I crit a lot. But yeah, I just rolled a 66. So The equivalent there would be, if you looked at the positive traits, would be witty, if you wanted to do that. If you would like to roll for your character traits, you can absolutely do that. What we're going to do is we're going to choose 5 positive traits and 5 negative traits for our characters. And the order in which you pick the traits is very important. They are how your character is sort of role played, with the most important trait being at the top. That is considered your primary positive trait or your primary negative trait. Those traits will be locked in. They are the traits that really most describe your character. So they're like an order of importance. The one at the very top is the most important for role-playing your character. That's what you should be doing to influence your decisions. And it's also the most important for determining your houses. And successively, they sort of get less important. They're still important. They're a part of your character, but less important. So, if you'd like to, you can roll for traits, or you can choose them, whichever you would like to do. If you want to mix, you can mix as well.
Sorry, so Whack, here it would say I just rolled and I got 5 and 3, so 53?
Yeah. So you would go, and you can start with whichever you want, the positive or the negative traits.
I'm a bit scared about doing this randomly because I'd really like to play a character that's
Then
very different to
You don't have
Lisa.
to. You
But
don't.
I kind of like the idea of it. I don't know.
Okay, so here's my thinking was you do partly random. You do the
That's what I was thinking.
So if you prioritize the traits like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would say roll for your second and fourth traits for positive
Okay.
and negative.
I'll do that.
I'm going full random, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's brave.
Well,
Another thing, I did like a test character, like a throwaway character with this before, just to see how it worked. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I randomized like the first 2 traits, and then I immediately went, "Oh, that's funny. Oh, you know what would pair really well with that is this." Like it gave me a launching off point, and then I kind of started to see who the character was, and she ended up being so funny. Like Luxie was on the call when we were doing it, and
it was
I don't know
so
if you remember.
good. I remember.
She had a cat, but she was allergic to cats, and the cat's name was Thud. And she was like, everything in describing her was like unmemorable, bland. I think we used the word like squishy to describe her face or something.
Moist.
Like, yeah.
Sweaty,
It was
sweaty
just
and moist.
sweaty and moist. Yeah.
She had a wand so flaccid that it couldn't.
We called it a limp dick wand because it was so overly flexible. And she's just resigned herself. She's like, whatever, this is my life, sneezing over my cat that I'm allergic to all the time.
Excellent.
I don't think I would have come up with that character if I hadn't like randomly rolled a couple traits first.
I'm a big fan of a little bit of randomization. You know, if you have a good idea for your character, I don't want to force anybody into that. This game is not about that. This game doesn't really have a sort of min-max kind of aspect to it. So it's really about how you want to role play. If you feel comfortable sort of doing a certain thing with the character, then you should absolutely do that. I'm always a big fan of at least randomization of a little bit, though. So I think the fourth and second traits are kind of like the good mixture. You know, it could give you a little bit of, you give yourself a little bit of guidance, and you also give yourself a little bit of randomization.
Okay.
So you can all sort of take notes. There is a section on the first part of your character sheet, the Roll20 character sheet, that has your positive traits and your negative traits. You should be able to copy pasta right from the PDF. We're not going to do the sorting today. We're going to do the sorting at the end of the first episode.
End of the first episode. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh, so much
I am alive.
Oh man. We have
when
to
I
wait a
did
whole week to find out.
That was the goal. I want everybody to be chomping at the bit.
what am I at? Number 3.
I think you forgot another D6 on the end of that one roll there, Cola.
I got it.
So what we'll do is we'll just, once everybody's done, we'll just say what our traits are. And we won't do any sorting or anything like that. But remember, you're also going to be choosing your name and your family name and your birthday. And your birthday is actually going to determine part of what kind of wand you get. And originally when I was making this system, because the Godicus was helping along with Murgles, we were originally sort of talking about this. You saw this from like the very beginning, basically, you two. And my ridiculous hopping around kind of creative process. Now you have a little bit of insight into how my mind works. My mind is just like, okay, I'm really creative for this thing right now, and then it's like verbal mental diarrhea that just happens, and it's just an outpouring of creativity, intense creativity for a while.
Listen, if you're gonna have diarrhea, it better be creative
yeah.
diarrhea.
I have to sneak away for 5 seconds
you're
and
good.
feed my dogs. I'm so sorry.
You're good. You're good. If anybody has to step away to use the bathroom or whatever, go for it. That's fine. This is just meant to be like a really relaxed kind of thing. And, we're not going to take like a formal break today. So if you have to use the bathroom, if you need to get a drink, go ahead. We'll take a proper break at the halfway point when we actually do the show. And as soon as everybody's done, we can move on to the next part. If anybody kind of wants to jump ahead, you can do the way that your character looks. Now, initially, I would suggest you do one of each look for each sort of section: body, eyes, and face. But you can do multiple if you'd like. If you want to kind of do, a few different ones. You're more than welcome. You can choose, or you can roll randomly.
I'm like so excited right now for this random ass person that I've just rolled. I have a question though. Sorry,
Sure.
go ahead.
Oh, no, please go.
Enduring, Whack. How do you mean enduring?
So, I'm so glad that like this came up early on. The intention with this is to be vague. So, it's not a question of what I consider to be enduring. It's a question of what you consider to be enduring.
Okay, cool. I mean, honestly, this person sounds just like me.
You know what's
all the worst ways.
You know what's really funny is that Negs and Luxie were rolling. Negs rolled her character, and she's like, "Oh my god! Like this character's a Slytherin that I just rolled. Like I'm a Slytherin. What is happening?" Murgles, I think you rolled a Ravenclaw, right? You're a Ravenclaw, like normally a Ravenclaw. Yeah.
Honestly, it's a bit like astrology up in here. It's like just collect these ideas and these positive and negative traits, and I'm just like seeing myself in them, especially the abrasive and self-righteous. We're gonna have a good time, everyone. Please remember that I'm a nice person now.
It's all right. It's funny how one of my favorite things about character creation is you're like, my character's going to be like this, and this is going to happen with the other characters, and then you interact with the other characters and go, oh, this is how it actually works.
So
I think
again, these traits are kind of like your guidelines to help you like role play with your characters. So again, they are meant to be very vague because I want your interpretation of what those words mean. It's very much meant to be on you. How do you see those traits? I mean, for all intents and purposes, it doesn't really matter how I see them. It doesn't really affect anything. It's all about the roleplay. However you want to roleplay it.
Oh God, no. I'm vetoing that random roll. Vetoing that one.
Sometimes you just know.
My character would be small and dirty. I'm vetoing the dirty.
As long as they did say that they were open to interpretation, so it does depend how you do.
Oh yeah.
It's open to interpretation.
That would really fit in with the abrasive.
You don't have to be Pigpen. You don't have to be Pigpen from Peanuts. You don't have to.
I sure would
Oh my
like
God.
to.
I have no idea how I'm gonna play this.
It's fine. You'll figure it out.
Is anybody?
this.
So who's done? Who's done?
We're on body now.
Positive and
Trait,
negatives?
right?
The traits.
I'm done
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
traits.
I'm done with the traits.
Yeah, same.
Who wants to read out their traits first?
I can go.
I can read mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, Negs.
So in descending order, my positive traits are ambitious, nurturing, obsessive, creative, and determined. My negative traits are reckless, naive, manipulative, eccentric, and soft.
We're gonna be
Ooh.
best friends. I would want to be that girl's best friend.
Thank you. I'm
Awesome.
excited.
Awesome. So excited to see what you're gonna do with your character.
Wait, can you read me your negative traits again?
Yeah, reckless, naive, manipulative, eccentric, and soft.
Right, we have 3 of those in common. I'm excited.
We're gonna get along great.
Perfect. I'll read
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
mine. So the positive are empathetic, nurturing, honest, loyal, industrious. And then the negative are clueless, eccentric, reckless, secretive, and soft.
Ooh. Interesting. Interesting.
I can read mine.
Okay.
My positives are philosophical, honest, enduring, loyal, and hardworking. And then my negatives are skeptical, self-righteous, naive, abrasive, and gullible.
You sound like a Capricorn.
My boyfriend and my best friend are both Capricorns, so I should be able, and my brother-in-law is a Capricorn. I should be
you
able to
go.
get this down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. Okay. Zagonicus, Kolo, you want to go?
Sure.
Go, Connor.
Mine are half rolled, half me. My positive traits are adventurous, fair, hardworking, nurturing, and studious. And my negative traits are reckless, anxious, critical, self-righteous, and dominating.
Oh my.
It's a mix.
It's a right mix.
It worries me how many of us are reckless.
Just so
And also,
my
I'm
traits-
gullible, so y'all be dragging me into shit.
I might change out one of my traits real quick. No, I don't want to. Okay, mine are obsessive, witty, clever, loyal, and honest.
Oh no.
Some of them are rolled, some of them are mine. I've done that with both of them. My negative traits? Here we go, gang. Eccentric, reckless, skeptical, prideful, secretive. We're pretty reckless, I think.
So many
Did everybody get reckless?
I did not, so thanks everyone. I'm gonna
Oh, but
die.
you're the dominating abrasive one, right?
Dominating?
Oh, sorry, you're the abrasive one. So we don't.
Yeah, I am
abrasive.
abrasive.
About it.
I have reckless.
Yeah, so all of us apart from Murgle's got reckless.
It sounds like
I rolled it too.
I
We're like, we're all
Did I?
Gryffindors.
I have no idea if I rolled
You don't
it. I
know.
can't
It
even
depends on
remember.
what order you got things
know.
in, and there's a lot of mystery
I have
here.
no
We'll see.
idea.
I am a Hufflepuff in a Gryffindor common room right now, and I don't know how I feel about it.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We don't know. So yeah, if you have not started, do your looks next. The default recommended way that I had initially planned was one for body, one for eyes, one for face. But you can kind of do whatever you'd like. If you'd like to do multiple, you can do that. It's really up to you.
Well, I would have cheerful eyes. Face.
What is hearty body? Is that like I ate a
However
lot of
you
pie,
interpret
like,
it.
Like hearty.
Okay.
Or is it like I'm a nice person and I produce a hearty
How do you?
pairing?
I
or-
imagine a softball player.
I think
I'd like it to be the second.
that sounds like more like it should be under your aura.
Are you trying to
Aura.
compensate for all of your negative traits with this?
I'm gonna go ahead and roll that again. Wait, watch me get exactly the same. Don't be 3 plus 3. 3 plus 2. Okay.
I was so
Oh
close.
my god.
Graceful. That's all right.
Lovely.
Like an evil ballerina.
Mine were
Can you imagine
small,
if
dirty. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, can you imagine if I'd kept that and done a second roll, and I'd have hearty and graceful? What does that
I
look
love
like?
that.
That's awesome. Why not?
Gymnast.
Why not?
Shall I just do
Yeah.
it?
Like a
do
floor
it.
gymnast.
Why not?
Yes, like floor dials,
yeah.
like strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautifully graceful.
Yeah. I can be like hench and graceful. I like that. Sure.
I got
Why
small, dirty, weak, and hardy. So
So are we rolling 3 for each of these, or just?
No, you
many
can
as you
do
want.
it's
I just wanted something.
the initial intent was one for each, but if you want to do multiples, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
I'm honestly just rolling at this point and like picking the best of what I like the most.
Yeah, like
So
doing one roll
excited.
and then
My
looking at
looks
the
are
3 tables and
completely
picking.
random.
Yeah.
Skeptical is way too close to Elisa. I'm rolling that again.
By the way, Colo, did you put your galleons in? Your starting galleons?
I don't know if I did actually. Where do I do that?
It's right on the first page next to the looks.
Oh, I've got it. What did I roll? 20.
Great. Real charmer. Tired eyes.
Tired eyes, dirty, abrasive.
She's tired from seeing all the
Wait.
truths of the world.
You're like
Philosophical.
Filch Junior. You're Filch's grandchild or something. That's what you sound like.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I'm just gonna go. Good thing there's a lot of high towers in Hogwarts. So I can just
gonna
leap
veto
right
that.
off. Certain death.
And there's like zero safety at Hogwarts too. They have
So
like
true.
no bars on any of the windows. They're just like wide open.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? If you wanna.
Swinging.
Yeah.
We've
I
lost
bet
a
you if
few
you jump them-
students
Yeah.
to some sleepwalking incidents.
I've been like rereading Harry Potter to my girlfriend. She's never read any of them, and there's like a part where Filch is like talking about how he wishes they still hung the kids up by their feet, and I'm like, what? Filch, what?
How old is he, first of all? Because, like, that means that in the last 40 years or something, they were doing that. You think it would be more medieval? Yeah. Back in my day,
Back
y'all
in the
get the
60s.
stick. Yeah. Back in the 80s, I used to be able to beat you guys with sticks.
I will give you a little bit of a mini spoiler. Filch is no longer at Hogwarts.
Oh, what a shame.
Were they replaced
Thank
by
God.
someone worse? Be honest.
Norris.
Her name is Bilch.
And Boris
Filch
is the
and
cat.
Bilch and Boris.
Oh god.
Maybe I'll just name my character Bilch because I feel like it fits.
Yes.
If you would like, if you need some help with names, at the end of the rule book, there's a section for some links, basically other links and resources. This is page 37, and it has a name generator. There's a name and it's actually really good. The name generator is super good. There's 3 of them. I like the fantasy name generators one personally. I did a few tests with that. That's actually how I named all the professors. Yeah, you're gonna see some familiar faces, and you're gonna see some a whole bunch of new faces too. I will say that.
I'm trying to figure out whether I want to make my character's birth date mine or a different one. Because my birth date is sort of significant in the Harry Potter universe. I share.
Oh,
with
is it
James
July
Potter.
27th?
March 27th.
July 30th? 31st? Jesus Christ, kill me.
the wine.
Is it this reference to Harry Potter that is incorrect?
Let me just go to Reddit so I can correct everybody.
Reddit. What?
I just used the name generator, and this is officially my new favorite wizard name, Mango Sweaters. Mango Sweaters.
Mango
That's
Sweater
amazing.
sounds like the kind of like one of those guys that everybody always talks about who hangs about in the streets. Did you guys see Mango Sweaters chasing that car down the street the other day?
I don't want to meet them.
You don't meet
Guys-
them. You just look at them like down the
They
street.
actually like run into you while they're like running topless down the street. Yep.
It's not necessarily topless either. They're just missing one article of clothing,
Yeah, at
like
any
one
given
shoe.
time.
They just have one shoe.
I thought you were going to say they're only wearing a sweatshirt. And I was like,
That's so much worse.
It's called Mango for a different reason.
and it's not the color of his sweatshirt.
Yeah, exactly. It's some low-hanging fruit.
Oh, that's great.
Family friendly.
Also, guys, please
Right?
help me. I just rolled square-jawed and scarred for my face. I think I need to just take control back from this randomization.
Get on top of this. At least
No,
I
I'm
can
kind of
look how
in
you
love with your character.
My character just like went through some serious shit, you know?
I'm really into it.
A 50-year-old Vietnam War vet. I finally got my letter.
Aren't you Muggleborn? You should just be like a weird, straggly orphan from.
Yeah, I should.
Been in like a lot of knife fights down in the juvenile halls.
Okay.
That's why I'm so philosophical, just staring off into the middle distance.
So who wants to talk about the way that they made their character look?
I will. I
Okay.
rolled all mine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the body, I rolled 2. I got, because laid back is the first one I got, and I would like a better descriptor because I like laid back for what I'm going for with this character. And then I rolled again and got spindly, so I'm just tall and untucked in shirts all day long. And I got understanding eyes and a kind face.
Awesome.
Aw, I know,
Awesome.
so wholesome.
So what I'd love for you to do is sort of figure out like how you want them to look, as much information as you want to give Murgles, because Murgles is going to be doing the character art for your character. So if you could sort of think about how they look based on those looks that you've chosen or rolled for, and just give her a little bit of a description so she has something to work with, as much info as you want to give.
Yeah.
And send that over to her at your earliest convenience.
Got you.
Anybody want to go next?
Sure.
Sure.
Colo said first.
Good call.
So mine are rolled. I vetoed face, but
Just
for
no
body,
face. There's nothing.
no face.
Zero face.
For body, the first roll was hearty, and then the second roll was graceful. So that's interesting. And you guys described that as maybe like a strong gymnast, right? And I quite like that. I quite maybe she's some kind of sporty. Maybe she's like determined to get on the pitch or something. I don't know. And then eyes, face, I rolled emaciated, and I was like, how do I fit that with hearty how do I fit that?
Harry
So I
Potter,
was
you
like,
can just make it work.
Buff, and then the skinniest fit.
Yes.
I wasn't sure how I could make that work. So I rolled again and got captivating. And then I can't remember what I got for eyes, but it was something kind of what did I get? It was oh man, I can't remember. It was like penetrating or like the first one was suspicious, and I was like, I'm not playing Elisa again. Something else. So I went for warm with eyes. So
Okay.
hearty and graceful for body, warm for eyes, captivating for face.
Awesome. Zagonicus?
Okay. So I rolled mine for the first two, and then I picked the face. So for body, I got petite. So I think that means like short, but then also like small. So not short and stout, just generally small. Eyes, I got cheerful. So then I matched that up with a friendly face.
Awesome.
Cute.
Just this does not actually this is not indicative of my actual art skills, but I think this is what we're going for.
I hate it.
Why does
Can we
that
just
11-year-old?
I'll do
That looks like that messed up Squidward drawing.
That 11-year-old looks as old as time itself. My gosh. For mine, I have an energetic body, curious and mischievous eyes, and an expressive and soft face.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. Did we get everybody? Or are we missing somebody?
Oh, me
Okay.
for the final.
Oh god, I can't wait.
Final version of the Murgles monster. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. She's small and weak. Her eyes are analytical and tired. And her face is scarred and sorrowful. So,
She's 11.
she's lived a full life.
Been through it. Think about Harry
Yeah.
Potter. He lived in a closet.
It's true. He looked a lot better though.
Yeah.
And scarred. It's so true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can give yourself like a really. It's like a daisy.
Yeah.
How'd you get that scar? Well,
She just like mutilated herself with like she was like such a fan.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how dark? Yikes.
Let's
Yikes.
not do that, please. Okay. So, let's see. Next up, what we got here? So we'll be doing all the role play and stuff in the first session. This is again just kind of the character creation. Did you choose names and birthdays?
Not yet.
I have chosen.
Yeah, I need a second.
I have chosen a birth date and a first name, but
Okay.
I'm waiting on the family name.
Sure.
So the first name I'm going with is Alexander,
Okay.
and his birthday is the 11th of August.
Okie doke. And I like how
That's
you
a
wrote.
special
I
date.
like how you wrote the numbers down instead of writing it out, because you know, Zagonicus knows that the rest of the world, besides America, writes the numbers basically backwards from what we write, or we write them backwards from the way that they write them.
Yeah.
He just wrote "or" and then he flipped them in his description. Thank you, Zagonicus. August. So you said August 11th.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. And
It's
you
me,
are.
Mrs. Z's anniversary,
Aw.
representing.
Aww.
Okay, so you are a year. Everybody's going to be a year one student. Year one student. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. I rolled some random names, and I got the first name is Rosalina, and then I rolled the last name Woodward.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
So on your sheet.
That's a solid name.
On
I
your
also
sheet.
gave her a middle name, but I'm just gonna put that somewhere else.
I bet you it's also snobby.
I'm just gonna put that middle name somewhere.
It's really hippie, actually. I tried to give her like a super hippie middle name.
Okay.
So it's
Sunflower?
Sage. It's Sage.
Rain.
There were some really good ones. There was one that the last name was Earth Cloud, and I was like, oh, it's pretty dope, honestly.
So you can
My
actually
wonderful Earth Cloud.
you can change your name right at the top of your character sheet. The family space there is just your family name.
Yeah.
Where did you say there was that? Sorry. Where did you say there was that generator that you?
Oh, it's in the
Recommended?
rule book on page 37.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Oh, I
Who's
did
next?
birthday too. Wait, should I have told you the birthday?
Yeah, birthday. It's your birthday.
I gave her the birthday May 12th.
Okay. Okay, great. Anybody else who wants to go next? Negs.
Go. I'll be playing Olive Everglade. And
Cute.
her birthday is March 2nd.
Okay, awesome. Olive Everglade.
Everyone
Alrighty.
calls her Ollie.
I really like how you were presenting it like you're in front of the class. Her name is Olive Everglade.
Hi. I just got here.
Awesome. Okay. Good to meet you, Olive. Anybody else?
Sorry, it was in the rule book
Yeah, in the
on
rule
page
book.
32.
37. 37.
Yeah, that would make sense. Just on the wrong page altogether. Didn't listen.
When I was in school, people with birthdays in early March always annoyed me because you're the oldest in the class. Like the cutoff date is March 1st, so the oldest someone can be is born March 1st, and I was March 27th. And whenever someone joined the class with a birthday before mine, I was angry because I wasn't the oldest in the class anymore.
Our cutoff dates are in like the fall for our school stuff.
Oh, is it? No,
So
it's
very
March
different,
1st is
yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, really? Ours is that a different thing to England? Because ours are...
I was
maybe
August
usually the
31st.
youngest. I was one of the youngest in class. My birthday's in October.
Yeah,
Oh,
mine's
we had-
November.
The February people were always their like birthday that was the same age as us would always be the following year. So people who were in the same class as me with a birthday at the end of February turned 13 or whatever, and then a month later I turned 13 as well. I turned 14
ours-
rather. So I was like
ours
almost a
is-
full year older than some people.
Ours is September 1st, and my birthday is August 30th, so I was always the little
I
one.
was the baby.
I was always the baby. Guys,
I think that's an
this
advantage, though.
this is not. I'm actually going to screenshot this just to prove that this is what came up. This is the first time that I rolled, and the second name on the list is Helena Riddle. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm just
And you're the
gonna.
only pure blood.
Yeah, I know. Please. Just gonna go ahead and roll that again.
The third name? What the fuck?
You're kidding me! The second one is there's Sue Riddle on the second one. You are kidding me!
I want to
The
be
third
friends
name on
with...
that is my I don't know, my Saturday night name or something.
Is that that's got to be a UK thing? What the hell is a Saturday night name? Is that like when you go to the
don't know what
club
that
and that's the
means.
name you give to everybody?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what that means.
What?
Because you don't
It
want to
sounds
give
like
somebody
your
your real
parents-
name.
Okay, but it sounds like your parents got toasted on a Saturday night, and that's when they named you. Like they were like, "Oh hell yeah, we're gonna name it. I don't
Yeah.
know, mozzarella."
My parents, close to that, they named me
Mozzarella.
Scott because I was the first child born in Scotland, and they were like, "Oh, how can we possibly be inspired?" And then for my middle name, they picked it off of a paper towel dispenser, so not far off actually.
Oh my gosh.
Not even
My-
kidding.
It's like Saturday night name, but bathroom stall names.
My dad wanted to name me London because that's where he and my mom met. And my mom was like, we're not doing that to this child. We're not
We're
doing that.
not subjecting our child to that. Sorry.
We're not naming it London, no.
I've now got
She
Ginger
also-
Horn.
Interesting.
The ginger jokes. Let them
That
begin.
sounds dirty.
Too.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah,
AF.
that sounds. Speaking of low-hanging fruit,
Gonna be palling around with mango sweaters.
Sounds like one. Right.
Okay, I've got a
Naughty.
name, guys.
Okay.
I'm super excited about it. Clementine Pine Screw.
Nice.
Oh my god,
love
it's perfect.
Pine Screw. That's amazing.
What?
Clementine's
But I
so
actually-
cute though.
I love the name Clementine. I had a rat named Clementine once.
Pine screw
Bring that
sounds like the
energy.
origin is people who would tap into pine trees to get pine.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a
orphans.
maple syrup family. Orphans. Not where I thought we were going there, but sure.
Gaia clocks.
Is there a space?
Interesting
Is there a
names.
space for name? Am I missing it?
Right at the very top.
Where, it currently
Where
says
your
here.
name is.
Family name.
Right where your name is.
Oh right. Oh okay. I can edit that. For some
Yeah.
reason I didn't see I could edit that. Sorry about that.
Ember Castlewary. There's some interesting names in here.
There were good names. I got some good names. We had some good names.
Still thinking about Earth Cloud, cause dang.
Just change it to Earth Cloud, man. It sounds like it's taken you, you know?
It sounds like a
can't.
parent
Being
name though,
called.
from like a super
What
hippie
Muggle
parent,
family
you know what
do
I
you
mean?
know of that has the last name Earth Cloud?
Oh my god,
Maybe
so
they just
many.
renamed themselves. Aw,
Yeah.
You
damn
know
it,
that
I'm
They
done.
definitely live in a
Definitely.
VW bus. The bus is orange.
I want her to be like from like a really crunchy family. Like that's the ideal here. So
Like
Earth
Quaker
Cloud-
Oats family.
Yeah. No bonnets.
Yeah, no.
We're just granola.
no,
We're
yeah.
gonna get along great then. I can't wait. Yeah.
That's what
I
you
already-
get like every Christmas. Like the owl drops a big box of granola.
I'm like sitting at the table and everybody's getting gifts and I just get like muesli
Yep.
and granola.
You get like some hemp clothing and some muesli. Like a green
Trail
hemp
mix.
like hoodie.
Hand woven.
Yeah, hand
We'll be
woven.
able to trade with each other, okay?
Ah, I'm like
That'll be
so
our
excited.
Yeah.
What's the wizard
guys, I
version of
do-
Burning Man? Never mind.
Good question.
I need help
I
picking between 3 names. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think my Wizarding World parents, depending on the timeline, I think they would have been at Woodstock, you know, or like the wizard version of Woodstock, whatever that is.
Wandstock?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh god.
Like I picture them being like they're homesteaders, but like the magical equivalent of that. So they're like herbologists, and they have like a sanctuary for like rescued magical creatures and stuff. So she was like homeschooled before Hogwarts and has never like hung out with other kids much because she just like plays with plants all day and helps her parents make like magical juices and stuff.
can just see
Magical
our,
juices.
our Hogwarts
Those are
students is holding
potions.
hands now.
No, we're renaming it. Fuck the canon. Magical juices. Here we go.
Magical juices.
That's what you call them, but they're potions, and you probably keep getting corrected all the time.
Yeah,
Your
she's
potion
like, that's
teacher
how they
is
say it
gonna
on
get
the
really
farm.
angry.
My mom calls them magical juices.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, hey. 11.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, but are we listening to Lizzo? I'm sure I probably have.
Oh, dang it. At the orphanage?
That's a good question.
Got radios at the orphanage?
At
So,
least radios.
okay, so who did we have left? Myrtles, we were deciding on yours, I think?
I've got 3 names. Please help me, guys. Robin Light. Boring, I think. Shell Goose Anders. Or Clementine Pine Screw. Or Clementine Goose Anders.
Oh, what about Clementine? I like the goose. That goose name.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clementine
like
Goose
Clementine.
Anders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goose
cool.
Anders.
Okay, awesome. Did everybody go? Did we get everybody's name?
I've got Maisie Skylar.
Oh, okay.
Maisie.
Oh my god.
Maisie.
You like instantly triggered crying. Next. She's like,
We're all.
We all suddenly have small children step into frame. Like, this is our daughter Macy.
Well, it
I
is
did-
an amazing name.
Oh my god, get out.
I did genuinely consider going for Riddle, considering it came up twice.
Yeah.
I thought, do I do this? But then also, I'm a pure blood family, and with the name of Riddle, and I thought, well, okay, well, do I really want to go down this path? Like, how is that gonna That was
It would be
how was that
interesting,
gonna...
certainly.
Yeah, interesting bullying, like
Yeah.
storyline.
Yeah.
Keep your nose out of this riddle.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Try me. I'm an orphan. I'll take you.
So we got everybody's name, we got everybody's birthday. It's time for wand selection. So, on page 12 of the rulebook, there is a wand selection section. Based on your birthday, that is the kind of wood that your wand is mainly made out of. Then you roll a d6 to determine the core of your wand. Unicorn tail hair, dragon heartstring, or phoenix feather. 1 to 2 determines a unicorn tail hair. And 3 to 4 is dragon heartstring, and a 5 to 6 is phoenix feather.
I definitely did this the wrong way around because I can't multitask. So I went birthday, okay, and then the next thing on the page is 1. So I went and did the d6. So I already rolled that one earlier.
Okay, doesn't matter. That's what the number is
Just in
for.
case.
Okay, I got dragon heartstring.
Okie doke. And then
Hazel
your
is my wood.
length of your wand is another d6, but you add an 8 to determine the length of your wand in inches. And then, based on the traits of your character, the closer you feel that they are to being open-minded versus sort of closed-minded is the sort of flexibility of the wand. It's directly related to how you think your character is. Are they more open-minded than closed-minded? Then if they're very, very open-minded and just kind of like very easy to influence, you could say that they kind of have a quite bendy wand or something along those lines.
I got a natural 1 for my wand length. As did Colo. Excuse me?
Huh? At least it's not flaccid like Megan's.
And my flexibility is unyielding.
You all need some cereal.
Family.
He needs
Dope
some
right now.
milk. Get him
Are
some
we talking
milk.
about cornflakes? Are you going down the cornflakes
You
route,
all
Mark,
need
or-
some cornflakes, all of you.
You know why cornflakes were invented, right? Is this why you're saying it?
Yeah, I know exactly
Okay,
why.
all right.
Yes. If you're curious as to what Colo and I are talking about, you can look up the origins of cereal.
I'm not gonna cornflakes specifically.
Yeah.
Cornflakes
Yeah.
specifically.
I don't
I
want to
won't
know.
repeat
I
it.
don't think.
Oh, you'll appreciate it,
know if I
Luxie.
wanna
I can
know.
guarantee you.
All right, I gotta go.
You will very
I can
much
give you a short
appreciate it.
version if
think
you
you
like.
will.
Like, where do cornflakes come from? Can I Google that? Is that what you want me to Google?
Why were cornflakes invented? Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
why?
I want to watch your face as you read this.
And it is true.
I want it. I want cornflakes. I want to know.
Wait, can I add a half inch to my wand just for
Nope.
reasons?
Nope.
What?
I literally have
Victim
to.
of his time, all right?
I just want to know like what the logic behind that is.
You'll have to
Oh,
do some
cornflakes.
research.
No logic.
Save
What did
it for
he
your
think was-
stream.
What's in there? Yeah, I'll just bookmark that for later.
Please report back because I
I'm
like
right
to
up.
too, but I'm scared to
Full
search
essay.
it.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh God.
Inspirational.
Okay.
It's so cheesy if I'm an orphan, though, right, guys? I feel like
Why?
I'm an orphan.
I
Then
know
be an
you're
orphan.
an orphan. Kids are orphans.
It
You could be a
happens.
foster
your-
kid if that makes you feel like less cheesy.
Why? It's not cheesy.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Storytelling.
Oh, because you can come up with a good name for your magical orphanage.
No, she's a muggle.
No, I'm a muggle, so I came.
You're a
I literally was.
muggle-born.
They plucked me from hell and put me in Hogwarts.
Well, you can still come up with an interesting name for
Your
your...
Finnegas days.
You know what it should
came
be?
back at a weird time.
They plucked me
They
from
plucked you
hell.
from hell. What it could be is some of the letters are missing from the orphanage name, so it just says H-E-L-L is the only letters that are left.
It's like straight up cartoon
Yeah.
orphanage.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, like Shelley's home for
Yeah, exactly.
lonely children. It's just hell home for...
Oh my god, the name that I got, Shell Goosanders. We could just call it like Shell Orphanage, and the
Shell
S has fallen
Silverstein.
off.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awful.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so who wants to mention their wand here?
Okay, my wand has a dragon heartstring core, hazel wood, 9 inches, quite flexible.
Right. I got a phoenix feather core, willow wood, 14 inches, and swishy.
Wow.
Mine has a core of unicorn tail hair. It's made of ash. It's 10 inches long, but it's surprisingly swishy. You look at it and you don't think it would be as squishy as it is. It surprises you with its swishiness. You know?
It's a shore.
It's like a good ball gown.
Yeah, right? Is it gonna twirl? It does. I'm very surprised. That's me
It's
every
like a
time I whip out my
Twizzler.
wand. Yeah.
To impress a chick,
yeah.
helicopter wand.
Always works. Always works.
Where you read like a how to impress.
Yeah.
Oh
How to
wow.
impress
Honestly-
the ladies at Hogwarts.
My character's history, like, sure, I'm 11, but really, life is on the table. So,
Okay, who's
True.
next?
I have a dragon heartstring core. My wood is reed. It's 12 inches, and the flexibility is unyielding. BDE.
Hard ass. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so Kolo stepped away for a second, so let's move on to the next section here. Choosing a pet. This we actually don't have to talk about, but you can choose your pets. I think we'll save that for the actual first episode in terms of what you actually pick. I will suggest to you, and this is totally up for debate here, but the pets that are available to students at Hogwarts, you have to choose a cat, an owl, or a toad, according to the lore, basically. And if you want to kind of get an idea, figure out like your family background, and we'll do that in the coming steps here. But if your family background is probably pretty wealthy, owls are going to probably be about the same price as cats, a little bit probably more expensive. I have the actual pricing in the book here. There's a I think did I put that in the items section? Yeah, we have it's actually in the items section. There's a section starts the pets start on page 46. Yeah, 46. The Magical Menagerie, as well as what was the name of the Owl Emporium? There's also on page 42 is where the owls are. Ilops Owl Emporium. If you'd like to do that. And I think I again this is kind of included in the price, but I would think consider your family background and like if they're, you know, more likely to give you some of the better stuff, or are you most likely to get some used goods, etc. So Kolo's back. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say, Lefty?
I was gonna ask, is there like a rescue facility for like for like animals?
shelter?
For the like a weird rescue shelter. for
Sure, why
these
not?
animals? Dope. Thanks.
Sure. You know, you could also just find the animal too, right?
True.
Like these are like the trained animals from from Diagon Alley. But absolutely. Colo, do you have your
Hello.
wand stuff all ready?
Yeah, I have my wand.
Okay. What is Maisie's wand?
Core is dragon heartstring, wood is willow, length is 9, and it's a supple.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Love how every single wand reading made Luxie laugh. Every single one. Without fail.
Supple is just what a word.
It's a great word. It's a great word.
Supple.
So we were on to pets, and you can kind of choose your pet there. It's an owl, a toad, or a cat. And what I'd like for you to do, we're not going to do this right now, but part of the character creation here is sort of shopping for goodies. Now, because I don't want to spend a lot of time in the first episode or now kind of like going through the shopping and everything of Diagon Alley, we'll role play that out. But in terms of your choices, I prefer if you that's kind of like your homework, is just figure out some items that you'd like. In the book, there's a whole section of stuff in Diagon Alley. You can go through there, and if you'd like to purchase something, you totally can. I'm also going to update some of these items. It's mostly the broomsticks. There's also some stuff from the Weasley's, and which I spelled wrong, I see now. Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes, or Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. I don't think they have Wizarding, but there's stuff in there to get you in trouble. It is banned in Hogwarts, but you can still buy it. You just don't want to get caught with it.
So I can buy a broomstick.
They're ridiculously expensive, so no, you're not going to be able to buy a broomstick.
And this comes out of our oh wow, yep, I've
So-
just seen.
so
But this comes out
figure-
of our money that we rolled.
Figure anything that's like Hogwarts base stuff, like books and things like that, that's paid for, right? Like your pet or whatever, all that stuff is paid for. If you want extra stuff, like if you want to get some stuff that will get you into trouble, etc., that's coming out of your personal money. That's like luring mom and dad or guardian or whatever away. Hey, can you go over there and grab a book? I just need to use the bathroom really quick. Run over to the Weasley shop and purchase a whole bunch of fireworks. That's up to you. As far as like mechanical things, items are going to help you a little bit in certain situations. It's really up to how you use them. And sort of convincing me to help you get like a bonus on a roll or something along those lines. Like, oh, I have this firework I want to set off. Okay, but you're in the school. Are you sure you want to do this? You know, like if you get caught, it could be real bad. You know, if you roll and you roll badly, you're probably going to get caught, and that's not good. If you roll well, it's going to go off, and maybe it creates a diversion or whatever. There's a lot of different ways you can use it, so be creative. That's the item stuff. And like I said, you can worry about that later. Let's not focus on that now. Your character background. So what I'd love for you to do is to determine if, number one, do you have parents? As Murgles was thinking about earlier, do you have parents? Are they divorced? Are they still together? Do you have one parent? Do you have multiple parents? You know, think about it. And you can roll traits for them. Except instead of rolling 5 traits for positive and negative, do 2 positive traits and 2 negative traits for each parent. And that will also determine what house they're sorted into. If they were a magical. You can roll for their traits. They don't have to be magical. That's up to you.
Which page is this on, Wack?
Page 13 for your parents' stuff. And
Okay.
there's also questions for you to answer for your character background. I mentioned this at the beginning when we were starting, but this is very much about you. So I have a lot of questions here in this background section for you to sort of figure out. This is going to be things we learn about your character as time goes on, as you introduce yourselves to each other, as you become friends, etc. So these are questions that I'd like you to think about. We have questions that are about your parents, like who are they? Are they still married? Are they alive? How do they feel about magic? How do you feel about them? How do they feel about you? Those are the kinds of things that I want you to think about and sort of work on as more sort of homework. And your siblings. Do you have siblings? You'll roll 2 positive and 2 negative traits for them as well. Are they in the school? Think about that kind of stuff. How many do you have? If you'd like to roll for them, you totally can. You know, if you decide, yes, I have siblings, you can roll a 1d6 or a 2d6. I mean, it's really up to you. I'd say 1d6 or a 2d6, depending on how many you'd like to roll for if you want.
Where do you want us to note this stuff, right? In the family secrets part?
There's family secrets, there's background, notes.
Background should,
Yeah, there's a bunch of different places. It's really up to you. This is kind of like personal information, you know, so if you do have siblings that are at the school currently, that is something that I'll probably need to know, because we'll sort of role play that out as necessary. And then think about questions like, what are their names? How old are they? Are they in Hogwarts? What year are they? What is your relationship like with them? And that could be based on the traits that you roll. You know, if you look at the traits for the sibling and you look at your traits and you say, oh, wow, those really don't line up. Like, that, we're probably not going to get along very well. That's up to you. And then think about stuff about your character. These are questions that I definitely want to have answered about your character. What is your biggest fear? What's your favorite snack? There's a bunch of snacks in the item list, by the way, if you don't know them. We're all a bunch of Harry Potter nerds, so I figure like most of us probably, like Luxie's just, she already knows what snacks she likes. What's your family like? Whose approval do you seek? Whom do you care about the most? What's your favorite physical activity? What's most important to you? What's your favorite hobby? What's your favorite book? What kind of magic are you the most interested in? Again, these questions are all kind of in the character creation section, so these are kind of like pretty important questions that I would like you to consider for your character.
I'd also like to say, as the person doing illustrations for each of the characters, it would be super rad if I had that information as well, just in case it like altered the way I posed your character or like anything like that.
So whatever you feel is pertinent, make sure you send that over to Murgles. The relationships, we're gonna do that at the end of the first session, basically. We're not really the end, but we're gonna do that on the train. Or it'll be part of the first episode. But what's going to happen, just so you're aware, is you'll kind of determine someone that you are getting along with well, and someone that you're not getting along with so well from the group here. And you will assign your first relationship. So you'll do 1 + 1 for a relationship, and 1 - 1 for a relationship from somebody in the group here, based on the interactions that we have in the first episode. So we're holding off on that for now. We'll do that later. And then the last steps will be the sorting hat and your spell bank. If you want to take a look at that stuff, if you haven't already, there is a list of spells, and since you're starting at your first year, you will be getting 3 first-year spells added to your spell bank. If you're a pureblood, or if you're a half-blood that chose the bonus spell as part of your family heritage, you will have 4. And you get to choose from the year 1 spells. So there's a list of them that are there, and there's a whole bunch more. You can try, when we are playing the game, to cast spells that are a higher year than your current year. It's possible, but it gets more difficult with every year beyond your current year. And the consequences also become more severe For every year you go above your current year, if you try a crazy hard spell and you fail, it's going to be bad. It will be bad. And if you're not familiar with Powered by the Apocalypse and the sort of base system here, the general way that you roll is it's all based on a 2d6. So it's 2d6 plus your attributes and your relationships and your spells. There's also a thing that I can give you called Forward, and that's like a bonus or a negative to your roll. So if it's a situation where you're at an obvious disadvantage, I might say, okay, you have -2 forward going into this. This is going to be really difficult for you based on some kind of crazy circumstance. Or you could say, oh, I just used these fireworks from the Weasleys. Is that helping me in this situation? And I say, yeah, absolutely. Here's a +1 or a +2 or something to your roll. Or I have an invisibility cloak that's definitely not nearly as good as Harry's, but it still does the job. That might help you in a situation where you're trying to sneak around. So yeah, I'd probably give you a bonus for that. And it's pretty easy to actually roll from the character sheet. If you actually look at your character sheet right at the top where the attributes are, if you hover your mouse over, you can see they get highlighted for body, heart, mind, soul, and magic. If you just click the text there, it will make a roll. If anybody wants to give that a try. Look at that. Let the first rolls begin. You'll notice that since you're rolling a 2d6 plus a stat, there's a common sort of outcome that can happen. On a 10 plus, you basically completely succeed on the move that you're trying to do. If you get a 7 to a 9, that's a partial success. And a 6 or below is a failure. That's when I get to do stuff. There are notes for some of the moves. You'll notice that each attribute kind of has like 3 different moves that are associated with it. Body has when you're trying to be quick or quiet. Quick and quiet, rather. Struggle, when you're trying to struggle, that's your body stat. When you're trying to tough it out, that's kind of like when you take damage. That's that stat. When you're trying to convince someone of something, that's the heart stat. When you're trying to read between the lines and gain some insight into a person or a situation, that's the heart stat. When you're trying to help somebody and treat their wounds, that's the heart stat. When you're trying to be knowledgeable and read about that, that's the mind stat. That's like you've read about that. I've read about that. That's the mind stat. When you're trying to investigate something, that's the mind stat. When you are trying to notice something, when you're trying to just see something out of the corner of your eye, your perception of something, that is the mind stat. The soul stat is when you're trying to inspire others. It's kind of like giving someone a buff. When you are trying to resist someone's influence, that is the soul stat. When you are showing courage, that is the soul stat. And of course, the magic stat is when you are casting a spell. When you are casting a spell. And that's the way that the game kind of works. Each move has its own special things. If you open up the handout, you can see the moves and like what happens on certain rolls. Some of them have situations that occur when you roll a 6 or lower. Some of them do not. When they don't, that's usually the time where I will affect things. Otherwise, on like a 7 to a 9, that's usually a situation where you decide the outcome. It's usually a partial success. It's like you succeed at what you're trying to do, but not quite perfectly. And that's the way the system works. That's the way the system works. Did anybody have any questions or anything that I can help them with?
No.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Just add in spells.
Yeah, I just got lost in spells.
sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking
same.
about family background stuff and getting some of that written down as well.
Once you are sorted into a house, you will also get a special house bonus. And that's we'll see after you get sorted into a house, but each house bonus is a little bit different. There's a section on the houses starting on page 21 into 22. And you'll see that Gryffindor, the characters get to choose one of the benefits that are listed there, same with all the other houses. Gryffindor, for example, would automatically succeed on a show courage move once per day. And that's game day, by the way. You can shake off the injured condition once a day. You can take one forward to all body rolls for one scene once a day. And Hufflepuffs would be able to automatically succeed on a treat wounds move once per day. They could potentially shake off the exhausted condition once per day because, let's be honest, you have some chocolate.
I was going to say because they've taken some sort of nap that you didn't know about.
They can take +1 forward to all soul rolls for one scene once per day. Ravenclaws will automatically succeed on an I read about that move once per day. Or shake off the dazed condition once per day. Or take +1 forward to all mind rolls for one scene once per day. Slytherins will automatically succeed on a convince move once per day. They can shake off the upset condition once per day because winners can't sit about and cry all day, can they? Or, last but not least, no one saw that. Re-roll a roll once per day.
I love it.
And that's the 4 house benefits.
Can I ask a spell question?
Absolutely.
In terms of spells, we have Reparo, but also we have let me just make sure I get these names right. We also have Oculus Reparo and Papyrus Reparo. So does Reparo automatically mean that we can also repair eyeglasses and Tom's pieces of paper?
Let's put it this way. If you specialize in a specific kind of repairing, it's going to work better.
Okay.
Than the general one. It's like using an off-brand versus like a well-established brand.
Okay, cool.
I feel like, or seeing a doctor, it's like a specialist versus general practitioner. Those kinds of things. Otherwise, congratulations, you've created your characters.
Yay!
Yay! I have to wait a week.
Everybody's excited.
I have to find the light side to this character, because otherwise it's gonna be like every time every time the camera cuts to me, it's just gonna be like, and then in the trenches, like
life is hell. It's all right. You'll find the light with us. We'll be your light.
Yay!
Or I won't trust any of you, because apparently I'm no.
We're all also very reckless, so maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
You mean us by us recklessly, I don't know, running you over or something, trampling you. Oh, hi.
Yeah, so good job, everybody. I think mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Made characters. And there's probably a few questions that you might have for me in regards to your characters. You can feel free to send those over whenever you'd like. I will get to them as soon as I can. And congratulations. Everybody's accepted. Welcome to Hogwarts.
Oh my god.
I thought you were so excited you were about to do that thing where people just take their shirt off.
Take it off. Just throw it. Just Hulk Hogan ripping it up.
So do we start at Hogwarts or do we get our letters? Because
we're starting from the very beginning. From the very
we
beginning.
get letters.
We're gonna
at the very beginning.
Dreamed of.
we're gonna role play everything from the beginning. So we'll.
Why aren't we just playing ourselves? Can you imagine?
I'm basically playing myself. Did you hear my traits?
See, but they don't really know you yet,
you.
Zagaticus. I
Okay.
know you. Oh, that's why when you were reading them, I was laughing.
I didn't mean it, dude. I didn't mean it. And then I looked at the list and went, oh, fuck. I've done it, haven't I?
I was laughing. He rolled himself, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
You better have some cornflakes.
God. You got her. You got Colo. Well done.
Sorry, I
well
skipped
done.
breakfast, actually.
Well done. Well done.
What are you doing when you're skipping breakfast?
Welcome, welcome everybody. Welcome to Hogwarts.
Do we eat breakfast at Hogwarts?
Do we get cornflakes and breakfast?
It's a magical
It's all they
experience.
serve, actually.
It's a magical experience. So yeah,
I'm never going to look at breakfast the same way again.
That many kids going through puberty together in one school?
that's every school. What are you talking about? Do you know how school works?
She's an orphan.
No, I'm an orphan. I didn't go to school.
Shared orgies, though.
Oh wow. So yes, thanks.
Share orgies? What?
Dormitories.
I heard orgies. I heard she had orgies, though.
Shared.
Did anyone else hear that? Okay, yeah, I'm not
Shared dormitories.
Oh, shit, dormitories. Okay.
Whack, why would you ask me to do this?
Thank you everybody for joining us for the episode 0 of Table Stories, Witchcraft and Wizardry. Hopefully you had a good time watching this insane silliness, and hopefully you'll give the system a try. We'd love to hear what you think. Head on over to tablestory.tv/WAW, where you can download the newest set of the rules. I'm probably going to have a new release probably on our launch day for the show or close to it. So keep that in mind for when we actually launch the first episode of the show, which will start on Tuesday, the 29th of October. So hopefully we'll see you there. That's 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific time. Keep in mind for our Euro friends here on the show, your clocks are going to change that first week. So it's going to be it's an hour earlier, right? Clocks are going back, so it's an hour earlier for you for 1 week, and then it's gonna move forward. But
I'll need more information when that happens.
You have the link, the time link.
It's just
Right, because we go ahead before the North America does. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you fall back. Fall back.
Sorry.
Clock goes
What
back.
day is it? Where am I? What is this?
But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us, and let's just do a quick shout out for everybody to wrap things up. Zakonicus, you want to start us off?
Yep. Thanks, patrons. You are the lifeblood of Table Story, and as the heart that you pump through, I'm making it weird. So thanks for being patrons, and thanks for supporting us. I'm Zgodicus. You know where to find me. It's Zgodicus in all the places on the internet. And I do things, and I talk to people, and I try to be a positive force in the world. So see you soon.
Thank you so much, buddy. Negs?
Thank you so much for having me for this. I'm so excited to do this show. Thank you everyone who's watching this because they support Table Story. I hope you're as excited for it as we are. I have legitimately never been so excited for any type of tabletop RPG experience before. So seriously, thank you so much for having me here. If you missed it, my name is Nega Oryx. I'm a full-time variety streamer on Twitch. I do 2 tabletop RPG shows on Tuesdays, and besides that, I do hosting and voice acting. So come follow along, especially on Twitter, if you want to stay up to date with what I'm getting up to, because I'm always sleepy from doing too much. So thank you.
She has
Hi,
tired
nice to
eyes.
meet you.
Tired eyes.
I do.
Thank you. Myrtles.
Hi. Thank you so much, patrons, for hanging out with us. I'm super stoked to be a part of this, and you can find me here. And, yup, let's do it.
Yay!
Yay! Terrible PR manager, let me tell you. It's taught me absolutely nothing.
Thank you. Luxie.
Hi, thanks for being here and letting me go to Hogwarts. I'm so excited I could pee my pants. I won't.
Or your bedpan. You're squatting over.
Cardboard one.
You can find me on Luxie Games, mostly on Twitch. I'm there basically every day. And if I'm not there, I'm on Twitter making really bad and probably inappropriate jokes. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Colo?
Hi, I'm Colo, and yeah, as everyone else has said, thank you, patrons, for making this possible, because I think it's quite clear that we're all very excited. Yeah, you can find me the same name everywhere, primarily on Twitch. I'm a full-time streamer over there, and it's Hello, it's Colo, pretty much everywhere. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna like stay up now. It's like 11:30 in the evening right now, and I'm just gonna like stay up and like check out like who my parents are and like get it all done. Sorry, I'm trying to play it cool.
Who are my
I'm really not very good.
It sounds like you don't know who your parents are. I love it. I gotta look them up. Who are they?
All right, I'm just
What are parents?
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Yeah.
That one. Cool. No, sorry guys. Just yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Honestly, we really failed you there because you finished the song and we said nothing. That's on us. That's not on you.
That is.
You're good, girl. We bailed.
Okay.
Thank you,
We're
Colo.
assholes.
Thank you, Colo. I'm Wax Steven, and I will be your Headmaster of Doom. I will be dragging the players kicking and screaming through the adventure. Hopefully, we'll see you on our premiere date of the 29th of October. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out on Patreon. Thank you for being our patrons here on Tablestory. We appreciate it. You do help tremendously. You help keep the lights on, and you help us do the things that we absolutely love to do. So thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Good night, everybody. Peace out.
Later, dudes.